my sisters and I have had these belongings, or the belongings have been in the family since my grandfather and grandmother purchased them back in the late 20s for their home in Florida. We decided to do it because we're getting older, and we just decided that we know the stories. We've lived with these things, we've lived with the stories, and if something happened to any of us, no one else would know not only who they belong to, but what the stories were that went with some of these items.
We've sold some pretty important things. John Sutter's presentation sword stands out. That was a multiple six-figure item. A piece from the Transcontinental Railroad presented to one of the founders that brought a lot. But I don't think anything can compare to Al Capone, and I don't think there's any auction house that can even make a case that there's something as significant that's ever been on the market.
There are a number of pieces. These chairs actually were in my sister's house. This was in mine. This was in mine. That statue of the Blessed Mother is something I knelt in front of every day of my life, and we all said the rosary. One of the things that I think is really touching that's here and that is going to be available for auction is the letter from my grandfather to my father when Papa was at Alcatraz. It is a 3-page letter, and he calls him repeatedly in the letter, son of my heart. That is the way he referred to him. He was the most loving father and loving grandfather. And these are things about him that nobody knows about.
Al Capone ate off of that china. It changes it to a different degree. So his bedroom set, so the bed that Al Capone slept in. The flatware that they would have served. So you think, who's a guest? Imagine a guest of Al Capone's family, and they entertained quite a bit.
But I remember vividly playing with him in the garden. I remember walking around holding on to his finger. I remember more than anything the day that he died, and having my father lift me up onto the bed so that I could kiss him. And I remember my grandfather's last words to me were, "I love you, baby girl." Everything that happened to my grandfather happened when he was a kid. He was in his 20s when he was in his heyday. He had gone away. He was convicted of income tax evasion when he was 31, and he went away. And basically, that was the end of his public life. When he came home to Florida in 1939, his public life was over. From then on, he just lived as a grandfather figure with his family. So, and he died, he was only 48 when he died.
This sale will go down as one of, if not the most important, significant celebrity sales in history. It's his archive.